Well, I've got a bunch of squares and discs and everything cut to fill in holes we've got in the boat. So this is it's called X-Mat or X-Glass or something like that, and it's a biaxial stitch to chop strand mat on the backside. So they'll build up a thick layer. I haven't used Total Boat except for very small occasions. So I got the medium hardener. I do like the 2-to-1 mix ratio. This is supposed to be non-blushing, so there's no like waxy residue or anything left over, so there's supposedly no washing. But a buddy of mine at our marina, Jenny and I's good friend Bill, gave me some peel ply because he got it for free and he uses polyester resin. So we got a big old roll of peel ply. Probably enough to do the entire hull, but we'll just use what we need. So yeah, I guess just set up the pumps and get ready to go. All right, now I just wet it out. Might just wet these out and then put the peel ply on. Might make it a little easier to manage. That'll be slender. One thing I've noticed about this medium hardener is that it gels really fast. Like you got about 10-minute pot life and it's only like 80 degrees out. It's not even 80 yet. Yeah.
It's still probably maybe 70. We didn't use peel ply.
Never. But I could have. I probably should have. So I got a couple of through holes I need to work on here. They kind of peeled away some of the glass, and also I got some hack marks in here when I was chopping them out with the angle grinder. So I've got to fill and fair and do a little bit here where it delaminated against the hull. But in order to hold the shape, I just wrapped some tapered cone plugs in plastic tape, packaging tape, and just drive them up in there, and that'll keep the shape of the hole. All right, so I'm prepping the surface. I did this on the inside and the outside of the boat, down on the ones we just patched. I'm doing this de-waxer and surface prep. I'm just cleaning up the surfaces. Do a little wet out. So I'm mixing the thickener pretty heavy because I want it to stand up on this horizontal or on this vertical surface. So we'll see how it goes. It's kind of like, I don't know, warm peanut butter. Yeah, I'll fair it once I get the bulk of it plugged with the heavy stuff. This is like silica. It's an adhesive thickener. It's not really a fairing. It's more of a buildup. Switch! Yeah. All right, close enough.
You already have some on there.
Yeah, I effed up and wetted that one out first. Okay. to actually help me with the wet out again. Well, I got a hot pot of epoxy going off, so I'm going to go ahead and go inside the chain locker, see what I can do. So all the seacocks we're changing out went through existing holes in the boat, but we do want to add a pump out for our holding tank. When we're offshore, we can pump out our holding tank while we're sailing. Typically, they're below the water line. I'm going to put it here next to this arrangement in the lazarette. So I'm grinding and sanding away the inside paint so that I can epoxy those backer plates on. And then I got this right here, and I need to drill a new hole through the side of the boat, and back against this locker is where against this bulkhead to the that's the galley cabinet on the other side. I want to install another seacock so I can pump out the holding tank. So it's the biggest one we've got. It's 1.5 inches diameter. So I'm about to put a big old hole in the side of the boat. Pretty close to what I laid out, but this is exactly where it needs to be on the inside for the valve throw and be out of the way of the refrigerator compressor. Got to add a couple more layers. It's Tuesday, so we've officially been out of the water working on the boat for 7.5 days. Got the bobstay epoxied and bedded in yesterday, so I need to clean this up and sand it. But I got to make sure I can pop this thing loose from all the epoxy that it gooped in there. Maybe I can get this holes drilled in the backing plate and get this thing. Well, we got to do something with the. I'll have to do some fairing and filling in here. But we're pretty close. Okay. Grab a hammer and give it a couple of whacks. Sounds solid. There we go. See what happens. So there was a little bit of cracking away here. But I got the basic shape. Oh yeah, it pulled a bunch out in the middle.
Aww.
Oh well.
Can we just bed it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just fill it in with fairing compound. See right here, it actually stuck to the tape. And then I need to knock the teak plugs out of the through hole fittings that I got backing plates on. All right, welcome to our shipwreck. Today's day 9. We've been on the hard for since Monday last. Today's Wednesday, so 9 days. I don't really count Monday because we really didn't get much done except cleaning out the boat and everything. But I lost some footage. I guess forgot to film or didn't have a chip in it. But got some of the through hole backing plates in on the forward half of the boat. Up in the head and down here in the V-berth where the raw water comes in. Got the glass layered up. Right there's the big hole in the boat that we filled in. Got that backer plate installed. And just getting things ready for new seacocks. Stuff everywhere. This is the transducer by the compression post that we took out. I'm going to drill it out for the raw water seacock for the water maker. Yeah, that's what it is. It's still early yet. I haven't quite had all my coffee. That one, the big one, is a cockpit drain. This one is our bilge pump overboard. This one's going to be our holding tank pump out that I'm doing right here. And I also have engine raw water under here on the floorboards and another cockpit drain on the starboard side. So I'm using the 610 West System epoxy in a caulking tube. Total Boat has a similar product in a caulking. I think it's, I forget what it's called. But I've used both of them with pretty much equal results. So this one just happened to be available is why I'm using it. Just putting a pretty good heavy layer in here. Some of them I had to build up a little bit because the fiberglass is so wavy. But this is a nice, pretty much nice flat spot. Everything is covered in fiberglass dust because I had to grind off all the paint and spot each of these. This one was a new hole that I drilled in the boat yesterday.
Right, and they have the screws so that you can put it in place and be on the out. One person can do it.
Yeah, you can
Here.
caulk it. You can caulk it and bolt it to the inside here with your preferred sealant, and then go on the outside, and using that conical shaped tapered tool, you install the mushroom through hull from the outside, and these won't turn once the epoxy cures. So it is like a one-man job. Plus, the big issue we had over on our port side settee, behind there was a waistline that goes out, and when I was tightening the fitting, just had to get a little bit of extra crank to get the angle right, and I actually displaced the old tapered bronze through hull, and it started leaking from its backing plate. So it was leaking through the mushroom every time we dipped the water. It was just above the water line, but every time we'd blow to the, we get west winds and we'd blow over a little bit in our slip, and we would take on water. So that thing's been leaking for like 5 years. All right, so out here, I got a little more fairing done on the bobstay. You can see built it up with a little fairing compound after I'd bedded it with the hard stuff, the colloidal silica. Got a couple of carriage bolts to install to through bolt it through that big bronze backing plate. So I got this thing pretty much faired out. Need to add a little bit more microlite, but I need to get some holes drilled in the boat right now. A lot of days of buildup. You might want to stand up for him. All right, so here's the bobstay fitting all mounted. I got to do a little fairing around the epoxy that I put in. Just about one more coat of fairing compound and a little bit of sanding. And cut the wire, install the turnbuckle and some fittings. And speaking of sanding, still got dudes on the boat working the hull, one on each side. So just about there. Got to get the bottom paint off today.